These new Google Gemini 2.0 computer use agents are absolutely insane. These can basically go off, use your laptop, surf the internet, do whatever task you wanted to, automate it in one click. I'll show you exactly how. So what you can see here is we've got the LM configuration as the new model of Gemini. So you can select which model of Gemini we want. And obviously the latest 2.0 update just came out in the last few days. And if we go over to run agent, we'll say, okay, go to .com and tell me where I can buy sleeves for my t-shirt. All right. And then we'll hit run agent. What this is going to go off and do, like you can see over here, if we open this up, is it's now going to start going off using Google, automating whatever task we give it. Literally just took one click, right? So you can see I'm not doing anything. I'm not typing anything. And you can see how it's analyzing the page because it highlights the different visual elements. And then it's, okay, let's figure out where we can get this man sleeves for his t-shirt, all right? And you can even read, for example, Google Maps. And if we go over to the results section over here, not only do we have the latest recording from what we just did with the agent, right? So you can see that's a 31-second recorded, but also what you can see here is actually giving us the details of where we can buy sleeves for our t-shirt. All right, absolutely amazing what you can do in 2025. This didn't cost us a penny. There's also some really cool new features, for example, like deep research, and you can also configure many different LLMs, right? So you don't have to use Google if you don't want to. I would say it's probably the easiest one, and I'll show you how to set it up in a second. And also, you've got a choice between OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepSeek, Google, Llama as well, Mistral as well. Now, one of the best things about Google is not only that it's a very new model, not only is it completely free, but also it seems to work much better than something like DeepSeek, where typically if you use DeepSeek as the API, so if you select DeepSeek down there, the problem with that is it doesn't have vision, right? So it's not going to be able to analyze the page. And also, if you're using DeepSeek R1 inside the chat right here, the problem with that is that if you're using the reasoning model, then it's going to take a lot longer for the responses because it's going to have to think in multiple steps before it takes any action. Whereas if you give Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental the job, it's like, boom, let's go off and do our magic. And all you need to do is plug in the API key. Now, if you're wondering, okay, how do I get the API key? Then you just go to ai.studio.google.com and you can grab an API key completely for free here. You just click create an API key. That's it. Simple as. And then you plug that in down here. You leave the endpoint blank and you good to go. And then you just select whichever model you want. And also you might be wondering, okay, but how do you actually get the browser use web UI? So here's the actual page. This is the GitHub, right? So you can install this locally. That's another benefit to this is if it's stored locally, it's more private, etc. And also you can use your own custom browser, right? So it says you can use your own browser with our tool, eliminating the need to log into sites or deal with other authentication challenges. This feature also supports high definition screen recording. You can also choose to keep the browser window open between AI tasks so it doesn't automatically complete it. And you can see the history of AI interactions. And if you scroll down here, they've got the steps on how to set it up locally. Like you can see, I'm running down here in the terminal, right? Now, if you want to see the exact steps on how I set it up, I'll include that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments and description. If you want to get access to that, we'll just go to Classroom over here, SOPs, and you get all the video notes from today directly in there. So if you want to follow the instructions step by step, we've got all the links. And we've got the details on how to set it up in the Mac, along with all these other modules, including our crash course plus weekly coaching with me. So let's get straight back into this. Link in the comments and description to that AI Profit Boardroom. What we can also do over here is we can select deep research and we can actually create a deep research report. Now, you might be wondering, okay, what does that even mean? So inside ChatGPT, for example, they have this deep research option, right? You click that and it will take about 10 minutes to generate a very deep research report. That's absolutely amazing, but it's going to cost you $2,400 per year because it's $200 per month for the ChatGPT Pro plan, which is where you get access to deep research. Really good feature, but expensive and unaffordable for a lot of people, right? And so if you go to the deep research section in here, you can actually use this for free and create a deep research report using the API that you plug into browser use web UI, right? So you can see now it's beginning to do the research. It's searching the web, right? This is the other thing is it's connecting Google's Gemini 2.0, which is not normally connected to the web. And then it's going and it's doing all the research like you can see, and it's just browsing the web whilst we don't do anything. And the other cool thing about this is if you have it open in a different window, like you can see right here. So this is running on Chromium, which is a totally separate browser to our main Chrome. So it's like a a virtual environment, then it's going to go off, it's going to do the research. You can do whatever work you want to do on your own separate tabs. And then you come back in 10, 20 minutes, boom, shakalaka, you've got the deep research ready to go. Now, if you want to see, okay, what's going on? And then you can see here is processing the data in the background. Once this is done, obviously it's going to take anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes to get that back to us. And then we can download the research report once it's done. Also, you can see now, if we go back here, it's already doing the research, it's accessing different papers around the web. And this is all whilst I'm recording a video talking to you. All right, it's just in the background doing its magic, searching the web. And again, this is completely free. Plus, when I set this up this morning, between setting up Web UI and inserting the API for Google AI Studio, it literally took me like 5 minutes, right? It's so quick and fast to use these, especially once you get a bit of experience setting this all up. Now, inside the Run Agent section as well, you can also add some additional information. So like some hints on to help the LLM complete tasks. So for example, potentially you could give it like some login details if you feel comfortable with that, and then it can go off and start logging into different places and doing its magic. Obviously, if you're scared about privacy, you wouldn't do that. And then also you can click here and select use your own browser, right? So this is how you can configure the browser settings inside User Web UI to just go off and start using your own browser so that you don't need to log in for it. Then because we're using a vision module, aka because the API from Google Gemini can actually see your screen and interact with it and understand what's going on, then you can select use vision here, which you can't get with many other models. There's not many models that use vision as multi to be able to operate the internet. Also here you can change the actions per step. So you can say, okay, I want you to take 10 actions per step maximum. So that, for example, if you're using something like OpenAI, then you don't get rinsed on the credits. And also, if you're using a free API, then you can have more actions if you want to go more in depth without it getting stuck. You can also change the temperatures and the amount of randomness in the model outputs. And you can even load like a previous config file, right? So if you've got like a configuration that you really like, every time you set this up locally, let's say I close the terminal and then have to set this up again, then I can load the previous config file and we're good to go. Now, I did stock the deep research early just because I'm recording the video. I don't want to be waiting 20 or 30 minutes to complete the video before we get back to it. But here's what we got back from the deep research agent. So it's actually formatted it really nicely. It's created a nice report. Bear in mind, I only let it run for 120 seconds and it already did all of this. If we go to the word counter, it's already come back with 700 words of research connected to the internet. And that is very useful. That's an actual use case. I know a lot of people say with agents, they don't have a use case or that sort of thing, but actually this does. Research is something, particularly if you're a content creator or a business owner, you're going to be doing like every single week or every single month. So super powerful to do. Very useful to have it there. So what we're testing out now, as I've said, go to llamacoder.together.ai and build out a to-do list app. And you can see it's already typing that out using Quen 2.5 Coder. It's just running in the background, building out an app for us. I can't even code, but I'm getting an AI agent to do it for us. It's doing this all locally. It's not costing us a penny. Now, if you see it struggling like that, for example, what we can say inside the context, we can say, wait 15 seconds for the coder to build out the app, plus be patient, man. You can't rush greatness, all right? Then hit run agent. Now at this point, you're probably going, okay, that's great. Can code for you, can build apps for you, but it's using Chromium, which is not logged in with your current sessions. You can't interact with your actual environment. Maybe some people watching this are feeling a little bit crazy and want to test something out. So what you can actually do is you can set up the EMV file inside that. I've got details on how to do that inside the AI Profit boardroom. And if you select use your own browser, run your Chrome in debug mode and set up the EMV file correctly, then what you can actually do is just get the agent to run directly in your Chrome browser, which is absolutely wild stuff. Let me show you an example of this, right? So if we say now inside run agent, go to aistudio.google.com/new chat, start chatting with the AI. Right. And we've got the LM configuration as Google Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental. We're going to run the agent inside this current browser session so that the AI is speaking to the other AI. We just get really meta here. So if we run the agent that's going to open up a new tab. Now you can see it's navigated to the correct window and it's analyzing the screen. It's hello AI, right? And by the way, this is really weird now because you got an AI speaking to an AI and they're just having a cheeky chat back and forth, aren't they? So start. And it's messing around. It seems to be messing around with the temperature. It's having a little conversation. a little bit of small talk, and it's what can you do? And so now the AIs are both going back and forth with each other, and it's, can you generate images? All right, so you can see how the AI can interact with another AI. And then what you've got is an army, like a swarm of AI agents all working together to get whatever workflows you want to get done, right? So this is really a previous limitation of AI. So you couldn't get it to generate blogs for you without you being there to supervise it. But with this method, you could go off, you could create a cup of tea, and who knows what they're talking about in the background. Now, I don't recommend it. This is probably not a safe way to use AI, particularly if you've got all your logins, all your details stored inside the browser. But I would take that risk on for you just to show you how crazy this can be. Okay? And then one day, maybe I'll get sleeves on my t-shirt. All right. I'm going to stop that browser session for now, but you get the idea. If we go over to results now, you can see that it's giving us the final results from what happened, how it worked, etc. And that was just with a super basic prompt. So if I say go to arstudio.google.com and then create the best possible SEO article you can about AI SEO with Gemini 2.0, and we'll say, no, make sure it's beautifully formatted, conversational, add some emoji tonality, plus add some emojis / subheadings. So we'll run the agent, and now we can basically automate anything inside that existing browser for this agent to just go off and do stuff. For example, if you actually said, okay, go over to Amazon and order something for me, like, I'm pretty sure it could do it for you if you already logged into Amazon directly on there. Or, for example, let's say you wanted it to watch a YouTube video and then tell you exactly, okay, what happened on there, what was going on, etc. Then it could probably do that too. At this point, because it's logged into your browser, because it's completely free, it's super fast, it can use AI directly, etc. You can really do some interesting stuff. And I think this is the way things are going. Give it a few months, Google, ChatGPT, etc. They're all going to release their own versions of this. So you can see here, for example, like the AI is saying, write an article about SEO. It's going to hit run on that. I didn't type that in. The AI agent did that directly. We've got the blog written and drafted, like you can see. And that was super simple and easy to do, right? The other thing to note here is if you switch back to your tab, let's test something else out now. So I'm going to say, go to YouTube and analyze my competitor's channel, Julian Goldie, and give me a really in-depth analysis of his channel. We'll run the agent. So it's going off to YouTube now. And here's the other thing, right? If we actually go to a new tab, so I'm inside the web UI tab now, but you can see it's still running in the background, right? So it's still processing information inside that extra tab that you've got. And if we switch back to it, it's searching Julian Goldie SEO, it's going off, it's doing its own thing. It's wild stuff. You can see it's now browsing YouTube, it's seeing what's happening, etc. It's analyzing my channel. And this is the worst it's ever going to be, let's be honest. You can actually manually intervene as well. So you can see it's scrolling through the page, it's doing its own magic, but you can manually intervene and click off or stop it if you need to. But basically you can see how it's analyzing the page, and it can scroll up and down the page. You can analyze, you can look at the images with its vision mode. You can scroll through, see everything that's happening here and understand what's going on. So thanks so much for watching. That was basically how to use Google and its free API. It was just recently released. Inside the browser, use web UI, and then you can get these agents to control your browser, go off and do tasks, automate basically any sort of basic admin tasks that you want. It can do research, deep research. Even just that feature alone is saving you $200 per month. And you can see how it's connected to the internet and how these AI agents work, plus how to set them up using web UI. Now, if you want all the instructions on how to set up the terminal commands, how to get this running in your own browser, and also all of my best videos and tutorials and recipes on exactly how to use AI automation to make more money online and grow your business, feel free to get that link in the comments description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 business mode and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales and autopilot, feel free to book that in. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of SEO link building, or answer any questions you have. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building, and how to 10x SEO and traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.